You're in the rant wormhole where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these rants by becoming one of those people. This one is for Darren Antos, who says to rant about Bandcamp versus SoundCloud or post-rock, whichever I have more to say about. Bandcamp and SoundCloud, I use both platforms extensively. I consider them to have very different purposes. SoundCloud, first of all, you have to pay to upload more than like 3 hours onto SoundCloud. And for me, as somebody who releases a lot of very short songs, it's never been too much of a problem. I have run up against my limit a few times and just deleted some of my back catalog and some of the like dumb meme shit that I've posted, and I keep all of that stuff up on Bandcamp. On Bandcamp, you don't have a limit to what you can upload, because if somebody buys the album, then there's the Bandcamp gets a cut of that profit, so they're incentivized to let you just upload as much as possible and hope that you'll make enough money to, recoup some of that for them. I mean, not to say that there's no limitations, there's file size limitations and stuff, but for the most part, you're not really going to run into any issues uploading shit to Bandcamp. So, Bandcamp is my hub for, like, if I'm posting an album, if I'm making a product that I want people to see, I keep it there. However, Bandcamp is much less of a social media platform. It's more of a storefront. So if people come to my Bandcamp, if they come to the page and they see an endless wall of singles or, like, just unbelievable amounts of shit, like, I post a lot of fucking music, so, like, if you do go to my Bandcamp, you'll see, like, 40 albums there, or 40 releases, some of which are singles, some of which are just short EPs, most of which are short EPs, and a few albums, but, like, I have to curate that and organize it so, like, the best stuff is at the top, that, there's not too much chaff, there's not too much random shit that's going to distract people, from making the purchases of my main content. Whereas on SoundCloud, like, you can put things into albums on there, and some artists will release their albums on there, but it's really more about dropping tracks and the immediate hype surrounding that. I consider it to be more similar to going to something like a Twitter feed, where, you log in and it just shows you the latest song in order of all the people you follow, and so there's a lot more of an incentive to just post whatever random thing you've come up with there. Like, if I just write a song, I will upload it to SoundCloud. I will, see if it's popular on there, determine if I want to upload it to YouTube as well, or make a video for it. It's easy to share on social media. It's not a huge time commitment. People who follow you are going to see it. And then if I release an album, I do it on Bandcamp because I want to sell it. And there's not like a pay model that really makes sense on SoundCloud. Not to mention, again, there's a limit to how much you can upload there without having to pay for it. And I'm not paying for SoundCloud because there's no way I'd make the money back. So, like, yeah, I think they're very different platforms, and I'm really glad they both exist because I use both of them extensively. As means of releasing music, and eventually I will just culminate all of the SoundCloud releases I've done onto something like my SoundCloud Rescues album on Bandcamp, so that it survives, all the songs that weren't on an album. So, as for post-rock, I like certain post-rock. I was never... I was big into post-metal more so than post-rock. I tend to like the heavier side of it. Post-rock, when I first got into music in a big way in the mid-2000s, was like all the rage, and people were really into like the crescendo chorus stuff and shit like Explosions in the Sky, which I've never really gotten into because I think it's kind of cheesy. I like mono because they can hit these big emotional highs, but like once you've heard like one of their best songs, there's no reason to listen to any of the others because they're all kind of the same. And stuff like Godspeed You Black Emperor was always a little bit too slow and methodical for me, I guess. The last great post-rock album I remember hearing was the Fuck Off Get Free We Pour Light on Everything by the Silver Mount Zion Memorial Orchestra, which incorporated some sort of punk and grungy elements into post-rock and had, big elaborate instrumentation, but with more of a muddy sound and not so much the pristine sort of like washing over sound that most post-rock kind of goes for, which I'm not as big of a fan of. Again, I preferred bands like ISIS over bands like, again, Explosions in the Sky. So yeah, it's a pretty cool genre, but I think it's pretty dead. I don't think that there's much experimentation going on, because if you drift too far, eventually you're just making a shoegaze album or making a you're making a prog album or something. Like if you do too much with it, it's no longer what people consider post rock. So it's kind of a genre that was doomed to die by the limitations of once you've milked it for all it's worth, where do you go? That's all about that.